Hello dear students, welcome to the lecture on measurements and instrumentation. Today we will be discussing two meter, this meter, this meter, this meter, this meter, this meter. These are two specific topics which are very important in the present day context, and we will see both of them in detail. First we'll look at time of day metering, or it is otherwise known as TOD meter. Now the concept of TOD meter is very simple. This is an energy meter. First of all, this particular energy meter is going to charge based on the energy consumption, and it is charged based on different time slots. We are dividing the entire day into different tariff slots. Okay, and these tariff slots will be based on the uh, uh, different load periods. That is, it will be charged for higher value at a peak load, and you will be charged for low tariff at off peak load. So what is this what is the concept of peak load and off peak load? Generally, peak load is a period when almost all the devices are or turned on or being switched on. So such a period is known as the peak period, and we consider the peak period to be something around the time 6 to 10 p.m. to 10 p.m. is considered as the peak period, and during night time when almost all the loads loads like uh, domestic loads are off, we consider it as the off peak period. And this TOD metering or time of day metering is generally related to industrial loads, which are the major ones. And when we are talking about time of day metering, we are not concerned about the domestic loads, but we are concerned about the industries which are operating. So this is an important measure for demand side management. Now this is another concept. What is demand side management? Demand means demand is related to the term power consumption. Okay, so we are trying to manage the power consumption. We are trying to manage the power that is being consumed at the load side. So that is the concept of demand side management. So we are trying to control the power that is being consumed, or the energy that is being used at the consumer side. Now some are also provided for the consumers to shift a portion of their load from peak to off peak times. So we have some particular loads being operated at peak times, say from 6 to 10. So you'll be incentivized if you are operating such loads during off peak periods, which are during the midnight periods, say 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, now what is the importance of this shifting of peak loads or demand side management? What is the principle? So when you think of the power generation throughout the day, you'll have to generate more during the peak periods because your load is more, so you have to generate more during peak periods, and during off peak periods your generation is to be reduced. So what happens is that generating mechanisms like coal based power plants, uh, it is very difficult for them to start up and then turned off, because you have to maintain the temperature and pressure of the steam inside the uh, thermal power plant or inside the turbines, in order to inside the boiler, in order to uh, allow them to generate power. So what we need is that you need to operate such loads continuously. So it is better to have a same load or a constant load throughout, somewhat a constant load or average load throughout the operation. So what we do is that we do not allow for a very high load at certain period, rather we try to shift that high load to another time, where your load is low, so that you can balance out the load. So if you can think of something like this, so during your peak period, your load will be something like this. So this is your normal period, so here this is your peak period, and then you have off peak period. Okay, so this is your load and this is your time. Now what happens? Okay, now what happens is that you are planning to shift this peak period to this section, so that what happens is that you will be getting some curve like this. Once you shift it, you'll be getting a flatter curve because you have shifted some load to this period. Okay, so you are able to operate some generating stations continuously for meeting these demands. So such type of adjustments need to be done. Now this entire process can be rearranged during different seasons, like you will be having one set of operation during winter seasons and other set of operation during summer season, especially in countries where you have extreme winter and extreme summer is there. Now this is an example for a TOD meter where you have different parameters being shown. You have the power, active power, that is measured, your um, reactive power is being shown, your apparent power is shown, the frequency, as well as the number of units that are measured. Okay, so all these things are being shown in this particular TOD meter. Now in Kerala we have introduced this TOD meter very long back. Now how do we charge for this particular operation of a TOD meter? So here we have divided the 24-hour of a day into 3 periods: normal period, peak period, and off-peak period. So normal period is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and peak period is from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and off-peak is from 10 p.m. to morning 6 a.m. Okay, so we have divided this the entire period into 3. Now the total charges are divided into 2: demand charge and energy charge. I'll be explaining this in detail. So you will be charged for a normal period, whatever the power that is being consumed, you will be charged for the normal rate 100%. For peak period, you will be charged for 140% if it is based on demand charges, and based on energy charges, it will be 130%. That is 1.3 into the normal rate per kilowatt hour. And for off-peak period, when your load is less, if you are consuming, your charges are less. So you are incentivized to operate during off-peak period because you are being charged less. Now we'll take a case of Assam where the same kind of an arrangement is done with slight variation in the time period. Here the different industries are divided into high tension 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and different charges are also being provided. Now we'll take one example. So HT1 industry, where your normal applicable charge is 3.75 rupees per kilowatt hour. Now if you are operating at the off-peak period, you need to give only 3.1 rupees, and if you are operating at a normal period, you have to you will be charged the normal rate 3.75, and if you are operating at peak period, you will be charged 6 rupees per kilowatt hour. So you will be charged more if you are operating your industries, or if you are operating it, if you are consuming more during the peak periods. So if you are shifting this consumption to this off-peak period, you will be charged less. So ultimately you are being incentivized to shift your shift your consumption time. Now this particular TOD meter will result in change in consumer behavior. That is, you are trying to operate your load at a different time. So you are trying to you are trying to get some incentives by changing the pattern of consumption. Again, you can ease the strain of energy usage at a particular period. During peak period, obviously you cannot ask the domestic consumers to switch off, say from 6 to 10, because almost all the lights, fans, even ACs, TV, everything will be on during the this period. So you cannot ask the domestic consumers to switch off their devices during this period, or the different load during this period. So what you can do is that you can incentivize, or you can uh, ask the industrial loads to shift their operating period, so that your uh, demand or the strain on the system reduces. You need to generate that much during the peak period. In earlier times, you must be remembering that we used to have load shedding. Okay, we used to have the concept of load shedding because we didn't have enough energy, enough uh, resources to generate energy or generate power. So we used to cut loads in different areas and used to manage it. And nowadays we do not go for load shedding because we have enough resources with us, or we have, if you don't have resources, we can buy from other states and from other regions of the country. So we do not go for load shedding. Earlier we used to do load shedding, and load shedding is uh, um, uh, one of the patterns that we follow in order to shift the load from peak to off peak, or in order to reduce the peak demand. Now this obviously helps the consumers to cut the energy cost, because obviously the tariffs are known, and so that when we consume at off peak periods, we need to give only a lesser amount of uh, charge. Now the consumers also can apply load shedding, mm, by running the machines at off peak periods. That was what we were discussing about. Then always you can the industrial consumers can review their energy consumption. Also they can make use of some peak analysis tools. Okay? Some tools will be available with them, some statistical tools or analytical tools by which they can analyze their consumption. Now what is the importance of this TOD meter? Now the utilities or the power generating uh, companies can manage their power production. They can record their energy consumption easily, because now they know the consumers are being incentivized, and consumers will be generate or will be consuming the load depending on their profit. So it is profitable for them to, for the consumers to operate at off peak periods. So in that manner, the energy generating stations can plan their power production. Now it also allows the consumers to take control of their energy bills. So you'll have some dynamic pricing programs, load curtailment programs. So such mechanism, that is, you'll have some already we had seen the case of Assam, where the price of the energy is already being specified. So based on that they can operate. Also some load shedding or load curtailment programs can be used, which also helps in reducing the energy bills. Now some pricing mechanisms has to be set up for the generating mm, plants, which could meet the system power requirements. So the generating plants obviously will be coming up with some pricing mechanisms, so that they also will be going for incentivizing the consumers to operate at off peak periods. Now in India we do not have what to say, a competition between power utilities. Say for example, if you have in a region, mm, say in a district, you have two power suppliers. Okay, two power suppliers supplying energy or supplying power. Say KSEB is one of the utility, and you will have another similar utility, just like in Bombay you have Tata Power, mm, supplying power to the city. So such utilities may be available. So they'll be planning some mechanisms, or they'll be providing some pricing mechanisms, so that they can attract the consumers. They'll be the ones who will be giving more incentives will be getting more consumers. So in such manner they can attract the consumers, and they can provide service to more region of the particular district. So such mechanisms can be done from uh, the generation point of view, or generating side. Now this is an example for a TOD meter live example. So this is an example that is recorded at or on 20th May 2020. So this is a date DT 20 May 20, and the time is also mentioned. So on 20th May we have recorded a data. So this data is for recorded maximum demand during normal time zone. So we had seen in the case of Kerala we have two types of pricing mechanisms, that is based on maximum demand and energy charges, or energy that is being actually consumed. So this maximum demand will be based on the kVA that is being consumed. So here you can see that at or during this period the kVA that is being shown is 33 kVA. Sorry, it is actually 0.33 kVA. It is the actual value, and the energy is not shown here. So similarly, and this is for a normal time zone T1. that is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So during that time zone, you have in a particular consumer that maximum demand based on kVA is 0.33 kVA. Similarly, you can find out the energy from this, that can be read. Now the entire thing will be recorded in this particular meter. So this is an electronic meter, so everything will be recorded inside this. Now this is the one of the bills that are provided by the KSEB. Now you can see that maximum demand MD during normal period is the consumption is here 88. So this is 88 kVA. Now maximum demand during peak period, that is from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the maximum value is coming around 44. This is average value, average of all the readings that you already have. So this is a consumption, actual consumption. So the peak value is, maximum value is 44. So during that say 2 months period, the maximum kVA that was recorded is 88. So on one day you had 88, another day you had 60, and another day you had 40, another day you had 87. So this 88 will be recorded. 88 is the maximum value. And then for off-peak period, it has a maximum demand of 4 kVA. So out of these three, the maximum of all the three will be considered. So 88 is the maximum. So 88 will be considered for the calculation, for calculating the energy charges, or calculating the maximum demand charges. Now similarly, you will have kilowatt hour for normal, peak and off-peak period. Okay, current, previous, and the consumption is there. Okay, so here you can see that the consumption is more during the normal period. 12,960 kilowatt hour is being consumed in normal period. So this is the average value. Now similarly, some value is also calculated for kVAR, that is the reactive power consumption also. So ultimately, your demand charges and the energy charges are to be recorded, or that is the ones we are concerned about. So the demand charge will be based on 88 kVA. Okay, so it will be one some amount per kVA. So 88 into that value will give you this this 14,960. Then you have the meter rent and energy charges for this 12,960. That is the maximum value recorded. So that will be charged, energy charges. Okay, and actually energy charges will be individually calculated for each of these three periods, not the single one. All the three periods individually will be calculated. We had seen that you have different rates for different periods, so that will be calculated. And you have some duty also, you have surcharge, and ultimately you will have this total amount coming around 1 lakh 1,864. Okay, so close to 1 lakh. 1 lakh is the bill. Okay, so this is how this particular calculation is entirely different from how we calculate for a domestic consumer. Okay, so here we have maximum demand charges for maximum demand, charges for kilowatt hour. So we combined everything together to get the total charge. So once you are consuming more during this period, the consumption at this point decreases. So you'll have correspondingly the maximum demand charges also will reduce, because you are consuming more during this period, so that this 88 will be reduced to 66 and this 4 will be increased to 22. So ultimately you have to charge, you will be charged only for 66. So some kind of that calculation you can think about. So this is what is all about your TOD meter. Now we have another meter which is known as a smart energy meter. So it is entirely a different concept. In smart energy meter, it is very similar to a normal energy meter. Only thing is that you have some communication devices connected to this meter, so that it is able to communicate on its own to the utility as well as to the consumer. So you have a meter connected, you have the power utility or the KSEB suppose, and we have the consumer. So this meter will be communicating with the KSEB as well as with the consumer. It will be sending data to KSEB related to the real-time energy that is being consumed. It also gives an indication to the consumer regarding the real-time energy that is consumed. So at each instant of time, we can see how much energy is being consumed. Say we are calculating from the 1st of September. So from 1st of September up to 22nd September, what is the energy that is being consumed for 22 days, that can be seen. So after next day 23rd, on 23rd of September, the values will change. You will have more data being or more energy being added because you are consuming more. So similarly, such an arrangement is provided in this smart energy meter, where your actual consumption can be recorded and viewed by the utility as well as the consumer, mm, in an hourly manner or even in 30 minutes manner, like that, in different periods. So that can be adjusted, or that is depending on the type of meter that you use. So it's a two-way communication between the meter and the central system. So central system is actually the KCB. So KCB will be requesting for the data. KCB or the utility will be requesting for the data, and the meter will be sending the data back. So it will be allowing the utilities to even introduce different prices for consumption based on the usage during day of time of the day, just like we have seen in the TOD meter. From without changing the meter, the utility can adjust the charges in the meter, because you have a communication between the utility and the meter. So some changes can be made inside the meter, in the programming of the meter, so that you are able to change the prices for which your energy is being charged. So it is an efficient method for obtaining usage data, because you have minimum human intervention, you are automatically getting the data, and it eliminates the physical meter reading, where you require a huge amount of manpower and physical facilities. And it provides accurate meter reading, because we are having high efficient and accurate processors which function behind this meter. And also you have the minute up to date minute per minute information regarding the consumption patterns. And it also allows for improved billing, because you have different pricing applications like a TOD. Such applications are available. So depending on the pricing mechanism, you'll be getting the accurate reading, as well as you have transparency of the metering, because at every instant of time, the consumer knows what is the power that is being consumed. So from that, the consumer itself knows that what is the total charge up to which the total consumption and the total energy charges he needs to pay till that moment. So he can adjust his consumption accordingly. So that also is one of the facilities, or one of the advantages of this smart energy meter. So these are the readings that you can have in a smart energy meter. You'll have readings related to the current, voltage, phase angle. You'll be the meter will be reading power factor, the instantaneous active or instantaneous reactive power, and ultimately the energy consumption. So all these values will be read by the meter, and accordingly different calculations will be done and will be indicated on the dial, as well as on the towards the consumer portal. So how do they communicate? So always you have a communication between your utility and the home. How much so in UK, in Europe and all, along with this electricity, your gas consumption also is being monitored with the same meter. So, or using the same software. So the smart meters measure how much electricity or gas that is being consumed. Okay, so this particular data is sent wirelessly to the in-home display. I will show the in-home display. The data is also sent to the data and communication company. This particular data is also sent to the communication company and to the energy network. And the energy network will be managing the wires as well as the pipes to distribute the gas, electricity and gas. And this data will be used by them to improve their systems. If your energy consumption is more, they need to install new wires in that particular region, so that such sort of analysis can be done. They need to improve or increase the rating of the transformer. That can be done, because all the data is available with the company regarding the consumption. Real-time data is available with the company regarding the consumption. So such modifications in the system or some additions in the system can be done. The decisions can be taken in real time. It also the energy company also shows how the energy is being consumed in your online account as well as the app. So you'll have an application provided in your mobile or in your smart device. So that application will be giving you data regarding the consumption pattern, the total consumption as well as the total energy charges, and you need to pay at the end of this the entire period. Now this is a general block diagram that you can think of regarding smart energy meter. So here I'll also try to introduce another term which is known as electronic energy meter. Okay, so electronic energy meter is the one step below smart energy meter. Electronic energy meter simply means that you have electronic arrangements being done. You have some microprocessor or a microcontroller that does all the functioning of a conventional energy meter. In conventional energy meter, we have disk arrangement, which uh, will have some flux generated and interaction of these fluxes, and the current produces some torque, and in such a manner you operate the entire, you have the operation of the entire energy meter. So in electronic energy meter, you have some processes which work behind the meter, and it does all the calculations, and your entire process will be done based on different um, coding or the electronic arrangement, electronic devices that are connected to the entire system. Now when you come to smart meter, along with all the electronic arrangements that you have, say like microcontrollers or all the different devices connected, you will have the communication devices also, which are used to communicate, real-time communication between the meter and the consumer, as well as the meter and the utility. So here you can see that this is your basic section. So this entire section is your basic section, and this is your power side. So here you have a battery charger provided in order to charge the battery of this particular meter. You have a voltage sensor, current sensor. You have two current sensors actually provided. So if it is a single phase, you have phase and neutral. So you need to measure the current that is flowing into your utility, and the other line will be carrying the current out. So you will be measuring both the currents. Okay, you'll be comparing that for the calculation. So you'll have a metering IC which will be calculating everything. You'll have the control unit, you have a display, and then you have a prom breaker, accelerometer, etc. Accelerometer is actually if you are trying to incorporate your some I think it will be provided to indicate some vibrations. So if you have some vibrations in the happening in the device, that can be detected using accelerometer. So that is provided. Then you have battery switchover, anti-tampering, anti-theft control will be provided. You'll have a real-time clock. So clock is very important because you are communicating in real time. So there should be a time reference for that. So you will be provided with the real-time clock for entire operation. A reference clock will be there, and this entire thing will be coming under the electronic type of energy meter. Okay, this entire block diagram, this section will be dealing with the electronic energy meter. Once you connect your mm, uh, uh, this communication devices also into it, or once you incorporate your communication devices into the electronic energy meter, it becomes a smart energy meter. So you'll have RF, Ethernet, PLM. PLM is actually for peak load management. You have GSM, and then you have some ICs which are basically for some communication protocols. Then you have smart card reader, some SIM cards will be provided. So based on that SIM card, you can access that SIM card will be operating as a communication medium. So such sort of smart meters are also available there. Then you'll have infrared remotes. So so all these things are available in the case of a communication system, and when you incorporate everything together, you will get a smart energy meter. Okay, so the only difference between smart energy meter and electronic energy meter is that along with the recording part, you'll have a communication medium available, communication part available, which communicates between the energy meter and different stakeholders. Then the advantages is that utility gets a better view of the consumer's usage of electricity consumption. Consumer also gets a better view of his usage. So this is the in-home display of a smart meter. See here you can see that for a particular day, you already set a budget. You can set, suppose you can set a budget. So you have, this is for electricity. So you have reached up to say 40% of the total budget that you have set, and say you have crossed the 50% limit for the gas budget that you have set. Okay, and currently the electricity consumption at that point is this is in pounds, so that is also shown here. So this is for gas and electricity. Now the so based on the data available, the consumer can adjust the energy usage, because if I say that I am going to if I fix my target, or the maximum target is 100 kilowatt hour, I'll try to keep my value at 100 kilowatt hour, because I have my real time data with me. And you have more effective budgeting, because you know the bills, you have no case of a surprise bill. Already you have the bill available with you, you know the power that is being consumed, so there is no case of a surprise bill. And again, when you have uh, uh, different utilities in the area, mm, that is, when you have competition between different utilities, you can uh, shift between one tariff and the other, one utility and the other. Okay, the best tariff that fits the consumer, or the consumer can be selected. Also, you can switch to a new utility also. So this sort of arrangements are available. It will be added in future. Currently these are not available in smart meters, but these will be added, or rather there will be in the process of adding such uh, arrangements also into the meter, so that you are able to choose different utilities. In India or in Kerala, we don't have the question of choosing a different utilities, because we have uh, in Kerala we have KSEB supplying energy to almost all the regions in Kerala, except in a few regions like Thrissur city, where the corporation is running its own distribution grids. So, in such cases, you don't have an option of shifting to a new utility. But in future, you'll have competition mechanism, where you'll have number of utilities competing each other to give better services and at a cheaper the power at a cheaper price, so that you are able to choose between the utilities. And in such a case, in future, smart energy meters will be, you know very common in every household, where you'll have such a in-home display provided at your living room, where your life consumption can be recorded as well as seen and analyzed, and accordingly adjustments in your consumption pattern can be made. Okay, so hope you have understood or got an insight into TOD meter as well as smart energy meter.